wisdom teachers, gentle healers, and bold leaders of our global awakening. Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hi. Today, I want to share with you some concepts that are designed to help us experience oneness more directly, more experientially in our daily lives. I'm going to give you some tips that you could apply in your daily life that may help you stay more connected to oneness. And I'm also just going to make some very generalized statements about oneness because these are things Joshua wants us to remember. There is only one source of all that is, all that we know of and beyond. That which is formed and formless, all comes from one conscious, intelligent creator. Anyway, that is my belief. And that is what Joshua teaches me. I also want to say that the source itself dwells equally in all that is. Absolutely equally in all that is. So there's as much consciousness of the source of all that is in a grain of sand as there is in the atoms of my body. There is no separation. All things dwell in a state of oneness. Now, the state of separation, or the illusion, if you will, of separation, was actually created for our benefit. For without it, we wouldn't be able to manifest a lifetime. So we believe that there is separation, that there is space, and there is time. These are gifts to us from the one creator of all that is, so that we can experience and really immerse ourselves into what it means to be alive and to live a lifetime. All of creation cannot be separated. You cannot remove anything from the source itself. Now, the source has also created perfect beings. Now, I know that's paradoxical because we're not perfect. We're far from perfect. And yet creation itself is perfect. And human nature is created perfectly. The creator of all that is didn't manifest us and send us out to cast judgment upon us now for not being perfect. No. That one consciousness that dwells in all that is not judging us at all. Not judging good or bad, right or wrong. All of those judgments spring from our values, our perceptions, our expectations, what we've been taught. So the source created perfect beings. Human beings do not need to strive endlessly to perfect themselves to be reunited with the Creator. You cannot be reunited with something you were never separate from to begin with. Joshua wants that to sink in, and he urged me to pause there. I will repeat it. You cannot reconnect with something from which you were never separated. We are one with all that is, just as we are. Perfect part of creation. And all that is dwells within us as us. The one that created all is us. It dwells equally in everything, all that we know of and beyond that. All is energy. And this energy takes shape in accordance with our desires for manifestation. The Creator created all that is from that same desire to manifest all that it knew. to actually directly experience every bit of self-knowledge and awareness the Creator had of itself. Joshua once taught me this, and I have said it many times to many students. The source itself sent out from itself portions of itself to explore and experience more of itself. That is what we are. We are a portion of all that is created perfectly for the exploration and direct experience of all that is. Awakening is remembering that the Creator dwells equally in all things, all beings, the formed and the formless, from our point of view. The mind, as it is functional, there is only one mind here, and yet each of us believe we have private thoughts. The one mind and our personal identity, also known as ego, I am aware that I exist. Therefore, I have an identity, a personal identity, because I am aware that I exist. And this ability to experience oneness cannot be hindered by what is known as mind or what is often bashed as ego. Those things are a part of all that is. Therefore, they're not stumbling blocks. They're a part of the whole experience. I'm going to offer some tips that you may use to stay more in touch with oneness as you go about your daily activities. And I will start with this. Strive to be mindful of the content of your thoughts. Strive to be mindful of the content of your thoughts. And remember that everything is connected to you. And I mean you. And I mean everything. Every thought that you have is broadcast out from your heart center into the environment. Every thought you have creates how you feel, and your thoughts and feelings are emanating from you in an invisible form, and yet they touch everything and everyone in your environment. So, do your best to be mindful of your thoughts. What is in the content of my thoughts right now? The broadcast of your unseen energy is affecting our world. You are the one creating the reality you experience and share with others. Another tip is to take notice. So again, this is about awareness, self-focus. Take notice of the labels that you assign to yourself, to other people, to objects and events. What labels do you give things that may actually inhibit your perception or limit what you can experience in the moment? For example, if you label someone as young, might you discount the wisdom they can share with you? Be cautious of labels. I also want to remind you to be aware that nothing is truly good or bad in its nature. Nothing is right or wrong, good or bad, except how we apply our judgment. And our personal judgment is developed for our identity. We apply it to ourselves. So remember that any judgment you might issue only defines who you are, not the thing or the person you are judging. You truly cannot judge another. All you can do is define your own values by judging things. So remember, nothing is inherently good or bad. Nothing is inherently evil or wrong. Nothing is inherently divine and thus set above all else. These are all judgments issued from the identity, the self. I would like you to also remember that every moment is extraordinary. Every moment of now is extraordinary. You see, we become lulled to sleep by our routines and day-to-day activities. We fail to notice that in this moment, this extraordinary moment of now, I have the power of choice. What I choose to do in this very moment is within my power. I have the freedom to choose. And this moment of now is extraordinary because there is life present in my body. The air that I take in keeps me living moment to moment. So this is extraordinary. The fact that these billions of cells have come together to form this body, and yet none of these cells are really who I am. However, Seth, one of my early teachers before I began to channel Joshua, Seth says that the body is the soul in chemical clothing. So that's a thought worth entertaining. Take a look at the body and you will see your soul in chemical clothing. Because there is no separation. Soul and body cannot be separated any more than mind and body or mind and spirit. All is one. All is interwoven into a consciousness that exists and gives life. So be mindful that every moment of now is extraordinary, and you can make it so. I also want to remind you that you will reap whatever you sow. Now, I know that sounds like it comes from Western religion. The teaching of Christianity uses those words pretty clearly. As you sow, so shall you reap. Yes? Supposedly said by the man Jesus, as it was recorded in one of the Gospels. However, this notion is taught in all religions. What do you think karma is? Karma itself simply is a Sanskrit word that means action. It doesn't judge if the karma is good or bad. That's what we do. We do that. Karma is action. Now, does that action yield results that make us happy? Well, then we consider it good karma, good action. Or does that action result in something that causes us to be uncomfortable or feel bad? So we then judge that to be bad karma. And we also have positive and negative emotions. All of these judgments are issued from the self. They have nothing to do with reality, and they are labels that we put upon our beliefs. Well, I may have rambled a little bit off topic here, but what I want you to know is that without exception, you are not a victim. No one can plant seeds for you. Only you can do that. So what you are reaping in your life experience, in your reality, no one's doing that to you. you are reaping the harvest of your planting. So if your life is often unpleasant, pay attention to the content of your thoughts. And if your life is pleasant and wonderful and blissful, joyful, pay attention to the content of your thoughts, for those are the seeds you are planting. So what we plant, we always reap. It's absolutely without exception, according to Joshua. And of course, to the best of your ability, empower and celebrate others. Lifting others up lifts you up. You see, as they say, all boats rise together, yes? So, to the best of your ability, and some days that's going to be greater than others, be sure to celebrate the accomplishments of others. Lift them up and empower them on their way, on their journey. When they say they want to do better at something, remind them, you can do it. You can change. It is possible. It takes a little bit of effort sometimes, and the older and more ingrained the behavior and the habit is, the more effort it might take to change, but it will change. And when it does, then you build a new habit by paying attention to the content of your thoughts. So, to the best of your ability, remember to show others how to create win-win outcomes, or how to develop win-win situations. And remember to release any idea that there's not enough. Let go of scarcity beliefs. So we have no reason to fear others taking our resources. There's plenty for everybody. There's always enough. We want to release scarcity thinking. Also, as you pass others on the street, to the best of your ability, acknowledge them as who I am. I am another you. I am another you. And together, we create a collective reality. And because we have lived in fear of others for so long, the reality we have created is fear-based, as if there is not enough, or as if someone can take something from me, so I must fear them, especially if I think they can take my most precious commodity, the life in me. Well, I have come to know that that which is life is eternal, and it cannot be taken from anyone or anything. Life is everlasting. In fact, we didn't have a beginning, and we really do not have an end. That is an illusion given to us for the purpose of living a lifetime. That a lifetime began at a certain point and will progress in a linear direction until the end. And that is a gift, not some curse. We weren't sent here as some kind of punishment. We were created whole and perfect to explore all that is, experience reality, what it means to be alive and to manifest something physical, something we consider real. And remember that we are multidimensional beings. This idea that we just dwell in 3 dimensions and operate in the dimension of time is limited. Yes, and this idea you have only 5 senses is also limited. You have much more than 5 senses. Science is beginning to discover what the mystics have always known, and that is contributing to our awakening. Above all, recognize everyone is my teacher. When I am aware of the content of my thoughts and paying attention to my interactions, I recognize that God is talking to me and observing me through others. And I listen. And I too have the privilege, the honor of observing and interacting with other gods and God. You are the God of your reality, and I say God with a lowercase g, because you are not the God of all reality. You didn't create all this, and neither did I, but you are the God of your reality. So be it. Go out and act that way. I will let Joshua speak to you now. Hello, beloved one. So, as promised, we are continuing our discussion of oneness and how to be more in touch and in tune with oneness in your day-to-day activities. I recognize that in the physical dimension, everything you see tells you you are separate. You are separate from all things, all people. You are separate in your own vessel. And yet, that is only what your physical eyes are telling you. Because your spirit tells you there is absolutely no separation. Even physically, we can recognize that the atoms of what make up your body do not touch each other. The atoms that make up your body and the atoms that make up this chair Jordan rests upon, these atoms do not touch each other. There is a lot of space in your physical reality, a great deal of space. And Jordan just flashed upon something he learned long ago that he'd like to pass on in this conversation. So now I will shift aside, let Jordan speak, but I'll be right back because we work as a chorus. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that if you take the hydrogen atom, which is the most prevalent atom in our cosmos, if you take that hydrogen atom and blow that nucleus up, there's only one proton, one electron. That's a hydrogen atom, 1-to-1 ratio, proton to electron. So if you take that proton and blow it up to the size of a tennis ball, which really isn't very big, but it's large for a proton. So if you made it into a tennis ball, the electron that is circling, the one electron, is 4 miles away. How much space is there in the most prevalent atom in the cosmos? It's more space than it is material. And yet without hydrogen mixing with the atom oxygen, we wouldn't have water. So all of it is perfectly designed for our living. Joshua is still here. I will move aside and let him be more of a solo voice in the chorus now. Yes, what I was trying to convey to you is that there is more space in what you think is physical matter than is visible to you in your perception of what is, quote, real. I am real, and yet I have no body. And yet, paradoxically, I am the source of thousands of lifetimes scattered throughout history and into what you consider your future on this planet. You see, truth often exists in paradox, in that two statements that are contradictory are both true. And you find that a lot in learning the seventh major understanding. It is a challenge to wrap the mind around it sometimes for some people. And yet, it is true that two statements that are contradictory can both be true. I also wanted to mention to you that even though you do see separation in your physicalness, absolutely at all times remember there's only one mind here, and the one mind is touching you and all that is. And you are sharing in the mass consciousness. You are contributing to the pool of mass consciousness. Now, in this pool of mass consciousness, there are areas that are very still and deep. And there are areas of the pool of consciousness that are elated and joyful and blissful and active. And there are areas in the mass consciousness that are turbulent, disturbed, choppy. This is the mass consciousness that you are a part of. And you may move around in the pool of consciousness at will, directing it with your thoughts. So where you dwell in the pool of mass consciousness, be aware of the content of your thoughts. Your thoughts will create how you feel. It's not the other way around. Some people would like to think that their thoughts are causing them to spiral. Their feelings are causing them to spiral in these thoughts, to go deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole of bad thoughts. However, the truth is, if you turn the thoughts around, how you feel will change. This is evident. I have given you a great deal to ponder today, I hope, and that you will stop and think of some of it. What has meaning to you, dig into it. And what is not for you, let it go. Not everything we say is for everyone, and we understand this completely. There are those of you that I have called, and I want to teach you directly the seventh major understanding. I will work with you in whatever medium is best for you. Please get a hold of Jordan and let me know when you are ready to commence. I will tutor you. Jordan and I will work with you one-on-one to teach you the seventh major understanding. And this is becoming more urgent to me now, as Jordan is aging, and yet he is the master of the subject. He has spent more years studying it than you will, and yet you will know what he knows when we are finished. Thank you so much for your light. Thank you for your love. Thank you for letting the light grow, letting love show, and for having fun on your journey. We don't need to take it all too seriously. We can achieve the new golden age in a way that is graceful and easy. So for now, I bid you good day. Yes, good day. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.